Yes. If you don't need to practice them, you don't have to.
Me?
No, I'm about to move it behind.
Oh, good, okay, because it's covering that wall. So you'll still be able to see it, right?
I literally is one step at a time.
Oh, I just didn't know if that was in
No,
there.
it's just someone had just
I had no idea.
I'm gonna practice. We have a lot of service, so return so
you're not worried about yours having a big picture. Anyway, I'll say some words. Yeah, I'll say some words, and then the child is extinguishing. And I will try to remember.
He's doing the thing.
Stay by chalice.
Finger
No bars, but I will try
On
to
the middle one, we use the,
you can do the middle one and go all the way down.
yeah. You got it? There we go. There it is.
Here we go.
Pull that one down.
That might be too low.
Is that too low?
Yeah.
Do the third one?
Just do, yeah, like that. Like, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, you gotta push it all the way down to the flat against it.
Oh, well, then this is too low. Yeah, it's gonna fall over.
Do that one. Okay. All the way down. Is that okay? You want
It's just I don't want it to fall down by me.
to go up a little bit?
Exercise.
You want
What?
Oh, yeah. High enough, whatever, hard.
That would work.
But don't you want it to look over a little bit more?
It seems like it's gonna fall if we push it. If we push it all the
No,
way.
I think it does need to come down one more, Curtis.
No, I think
I think we usually use the middle one.
so let's hold it. So you want the second?
Yeah, the middle one.
watch fingers.
Okay, yeah, I need to go to
Okay, so I think I'm good. Okay, just make sure.
the return again is acapella.
Oh, wait.
It's just like run through the melody.
Yeah.
Are you clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then
I'm locking the wheel. I don't think the wheel's. No, they're both locked, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I think I did.
All four of them. That's true.
Well, that other one did.
Oh, you mean on this guy? Yeah, we did the stand, I don't know that we.
I think the ribbon's a nice touch. I think the ribbon's a nice touch.
Well, here you go.
There you go.
But if you want to
There
do
you
this,
go. Put it to your buttonhole. No, it's the buttonhole.
Curtis, are y'all using this mic?
no.
Okay.
Okay. To the RV room.
And Rev Joe, I inserted the tray because there was a flood on the table.
Oh.
And so I
Something
have
leaking?
to see, yeah.
Ooh, we need a
Oh,
different
that picture leaks. I remember that.
Okay.
The other ones that are faceted don't leak. Because I was going to use that for watering plants, but then I noticed it was leaking. But now
So
it's.
Dave, what? All I need to do is carry this, but be aware if it is spilled, carry it to the kitchen. Thank you for catching that, Bill.
Serious.
Morning, kids.
Test, test. Sound check, sound check 2. See if it's, Mike, see if it's cutting out. Is it staying solid? Okay, well, we'll give it a try. And Mike.
Test, test, sound check.
Whether you are participating online or here in person, we say welcome home to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Mark E. Anderson, and I am so glad you're here. My, what a lot of people are here. For our guests, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the Live Oak Weekly Newsletter. It's the go-to place to keep up with everything that's happening here, and there's a link on our homepage. And now that her well-earned 5-month sabbatical has come to an end, I invite you to join me in joyfully welcoming back our minister, Reverend Joanna. And now, here and at home, let us light our chalices. Blessed is the fire that burns deep in the soul. It is the flame of the human spirit touched into being by the mystery of life. It is the fire of reason, the fire of compassion, the fire of community, the fire of justice, the fire of faith. It is the fire of love burning deep in the human heart, the divine glow in every life. Our opening music is number 1011, Return Again. Please rise either in body or in spirit and join us in singing.
Return
Good morning. I'm Reverend Joanna, and today is a precious gift. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Whoever you are, whomever you love, and wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. I want to take a moment to extend a very special greeting to everyone who is visiting us for the first time. Rather than gathering because we all have the same beliefs, we are an intentional community gathered around our shared promise to support each other's individual spiritual journeys. We're also intentional about bringing all ages together because in today's world that often doesn't happen automatically, but we think that it's important to have an adult friend ask a child or a youth, hey, how did you do on that science test that you were worried about? Or to have a 30-year-old and a 70-year-old chat about life as they're hanging out after the service or working on a project together. Though we do not require everyone to share the same beliefs, you'll still find that many of us have many of the same values in common. We believe in science, reason, the equality of all, and the need for equity. We know that Black Lives Matter. We value reproductive justice, and we celebrate the LGBTQIA+ community. We work to make love the doctrine of our lives and to put it in action through service in this church and out in the world. So there you go. That's a little bit about us, and we hope that after the service you'll stay and chat and tell us a little bit about you. May we celebrate the possibilities and the promises of this day together. And as I'm gathering our joys and sorrows, Mike, can you send someone up with the little remote? I'm going to need that in a minute. I forgot to grab it. Every week when we gather, we share pieces of our lives with each other. We share our sorrows so that we may offer comfort to one another. And we share our joys so that we may celebrate together. And for those of you watching online, please share in the chat box any joys or sorrows that you are carrying today. And Bill Dower shares his joy, glad we are all together again. And Gabe shares that the Jimenez family has made it through the summer. And what are they going to do next? They are going to Disneyland. And Cassie shares, happy to have Reverend Joanna back. And now may I please ask Cindy LaGreca to come forward. Cindy, I don't know how we can thank you for what you did, which was not only to step into being our acting director of Lifespan Faith Development, but oh yeah, to also do it when the minister was going on sabbatical. I know that over the next few months, I'm going to be hearing more and more stories about everything that you did. This is just a small token of our esteem. I will tell you, and among other things, it includes a massage. And I apologize, Cindy, I did not ask your consent to hug you. I know you have feelings about that. Mea culpa. In this religious community, we hold with reverence the knowledge that each week a multitude of different emotions and experiences are brought together into this space. One of us may be celebrating while another is weeping. One may be filled with determination and another with despair. This mosaic of experiences is holy, and we honor all with our witness. Today we're going to do something special, a board commissioning. Now, a commissioning is the act of granting certain powers or authority to carry out a particular task or duty. As a congregationally based tradition, all power in Unitarian Universalist churches comes up through the congregation and is bestowed upon its leaders, including the ordained leaders, to carry out specific service for the good of the whole. Today, we will take this reality seriously and formally bestow upon our chosen board leaders for this year the authority that they need to carry out the works that we have assigned them. This commissioning service, which I hope will become an annual tradition, is an opportunity for us to give our blessings to the ministry these leaders will provide in the coming year and to affirm their sense of calling to the roles of service that they claim and to which we have elected them as leaders. So let us now join in honoring and commissioning our Board of Trustees for the 22-23 year. Board members, would you please join me up here on the chancel? And as I understand it, there was a peaceful transfer of power. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe in ministry that is shared among the clergy and the laity. Leadership is undertaken by all who are in a church community, and some people take on extra commitment by serving on your board. These volunteer positions are important. They come with additional responsibility, time, and effort. Your board holds visionary, fiduciary, and goal-setting responsibility. It is for these extra commitments that we honor these leaders among leaders. Would you please say with me these words? For the company of this faith community, and for all those who lead us within and beyond this church, we are grateful and offer thanks. These leadership positions are not permanent, for we rotate leadership in our religious community so that different voices may be heard and so that both the joys and the burdens of leadership are shared. Before us now stand those who have answered the call to deeper leadership this year. Please say with me. Leaders among leaders, we bestow on you our trust as you do your best to make faithful and practical decisions on our behalf. We commit to open, direct, and caring communication when we disagree. We pledge to you our support in your work of leading our church community. And board members, would you please say these words?
Mindful of your trust and of the responsibility inherent in serving in these positions, we take up this ministry of leadership. With deep gratitude, we accept your support.
Our board members have a special role. We support them through word and through deed, in thoughts and in prayer, or by showing up and taking action. That's the best way. The task of leadership belongs to every one of us by our words, by our actions, and by our living example. Please say with me these words. Together, we endeavor to be leaders, official and unofficial alike. May we all be blessed with patience, wisdom, and understanding. May we be blessed with the intention to communicate directly and honestly. May we live into a vision of a vibrant, healthy, and sustainable Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. In response to, and as a sign of this affirmation of your call to service, I follow the ancient tradition of anointing you with oil that has been blessed in the names of all that is beautiful, true, and good. You can just hold out your hand as I come down. As this oil absorbs into your skin, may you absorb into your soul all of the love and the good wishes which surround you in this moment. Blessed be.
Every week, we engage in the spiritual practice of generosity, combining our resources to support the ministries of this church. Our mission is to embrace joy, enrich connections, encourage growth, and empower dreams. And each Sunday this month, we will be sharing our offering with Lilith Fund, the oldest abortion fund in Texas. Having been forced to pause direct funding of abortions while it evaluates the impact of the recent U.S. Supreme Court's decision, Lilith Fund is currently offering direct financial assistance for non-abortion reproductive health care, including ultrasounds, screenings, contraceptives, counseling, and more. The fund is also assisting Texans who are traveling out of state for care, continuing to operate its hotline to provide information to callers, and continuing to build reproductive justice programming in compliance with the law. We now invite you to go to liveoakuu.org and click on Donate.
Thank you, choir, and thank you, Curtis. You know, hi, would you like a new job? By the way, I'm going on sabbatical. Hello again, Live Oak. Thank you so much for that sabbatical. I hope that I used it well. And I missed you so much. I'm so glad to be back here. Where have you gone on your journeys this past year? Not just since I went on sabbatical, not just since January, but the whole year, because we're about to start a new church year. I mean, do you remember that last year at this time, we were out there trying to figure out how to do outdoor church and live stream with tarps and people bringing their own chairs. This church has been on quite a journey for this past year. And I imagine that you have too, literal or metaphoric. The rabbis tell a story of a man who lived in a small village, let's call him Isaac. And he was a good man, he was poor, he had a wife and a family. And one night, he had this dream. And in this dream, he traveled, and it took him several days of travel, and he arrived at a small village. And there he discovered a giant bag of treasure for him that would change the life for him and his family. He woke up in the morning. Oh, it was just a dream. You ever have that? Have like such a great dream, and then you wake up and, oh, it was just a dream. Oh, well. He was a pragmatic sort, and he said, you know, that it's like reading something, a good story in a book. I enjoyed it nevertheless. And he went about his day. About a week later, he had the same dream. And this dream had a little more detail. He could actually see a signpost for the town. He walked through the town, and there was a bridge at one end. And curious, he walked under the bridge, and there was the sack of treasure. And he woke up. Oh well, just a dream. At least it was a nice one, not a nightmare. About a week later, again, same dream, but this one was so real. He saw the sign for the town, and he could see the name of the town on it. He could even smell things, like he could smell the scent of the earth and the fallen leaves as he wandered through his journey to make it there. He walked through the village, and there, just like in the previous dream, there was a bridge. He went underneath it, and he didn't see anything, but something compelled him to dig in a certain place. He grabbed a rock and went to it. And there it was, the bag of treasure. When he woke up that morning, he just lay there thinking. And he called his spouse and his children together, and he said, I know this is so foolish, but I've had this dream. And he told them about the dream, and he said, I've had it 3 times now, and this last one was so real, it's hard for me to convince myself it was a dream. I feel like I should go and see this. And his spouse said, Isaac, I have never known you to be a fool. If this is what you feel you should do, then you should do it. And together they packed up clothes and food for him to have on his journey, and he set off. He was on foot, and it took several days. He tried to sleep under trees. One time he even found a cave. He tried to be careful of wild animals. And eventually he got to that town, and it was just exactly like he had dreamed it. The sign, the name of the town, he walked through it. Yes, there was the bridge. The bridge was surrounded by guards because the bridge led up to a palace. He just kind of tried to surreptitiously just kind of walk around. Finally, the guards laughed at him, and the captain said, "You are acting suspicious. What are you trying to do, old man?" He said, I need to look under this bridge. I think that there is something there for me. The captain said, no, you cannot do that because this leads up to the palace. We must protect this bridge. Isaac said, I understand, but you see, I have had a set of dreams, and all of them told me to come here and to look under this bridge. The guards laughed and scoffed at him. The captain said, "You fool! Dreams are just dreams. Dreams are silly. I myself had a dream the other day that told me that I should go away to this far-off village, and I should go to the house of a man named Isaac and look behind his stove that there would be a bag of treasure there." Dreams are foolish. Isaac thanked him politely, turned around, and began the journey to go back home. Of course, as soon as he got home, he went and he looked behind the stove. There was nothing there. There was nothing there. But he noticed that one of the boards behind the stove was a slightly different color than the other ones. Like maybe it was a little newer. He had never noticed that before. He got out his tools and he went to work. He pried it up, and yes, there was a giant bag of gold coins that would indeed change the life for him and for his family. It's very interesting that most religions and cultures have some sort of a story where they give this message that whatever you most treasure, whatever is most important to you, is probably very close to you. But this story makes an important point, which is often we cannot know of the existence or location of that treasure until we go through some type of a journey. The journey may be literal, mine was. It may be metaphoric. Journeys take many different forms. A change of relationship, right? A wedding or a divorce or a change in a friendship. That's a journey. Death of a loved one or illness of a loved one or of yourself. Therapy, right? If you're doing therapy right, it's a journey, right? Your journey may begin because of something, a new idea that you read in a book or see on a movie or a video or learn about in a faith development class or hear in conversation in a chalice circle, or maybe even something that you hear or just feel in a worship service. There's all kinds of journeys. What are the journeys that you have taken this past year? And what are the treasures that you have brought back? Unitarian Universalism is called the living tradition. If you look at your great hymnal there on the cover, right? Songs of the Living Tradition. And the reason why it is called the living tradition is because one of the deep tenets of our faith is that we know that revelation is continuous. Revelation is not sealed. There are always new things for us to learn as humanity. Have y'all been seeing these pictures from the James Webb Telescope? Oh my God, have you been reading the articles about how astronomers and physicists and other scientists are going to have to go back and rethink so many things about when galaxies first appeared and the age of the universe and how things work? There's always new exploration, new wisdom. It happens for humanity, it happens for a church when we get new insights. It happens for us as individuals. We are, each of us, on individual spiritual journeys. And that is important. That is part of the freedom of Unitarian Universalism. As we say, we affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, our deepest beliefs about what happens after we die, or God, or the nature of being. Those are not settled by consensus or even the democratic process. Those are individual, and that's important. But if we leave it right there, if we leave those individual revelations and insights and wisdom, new ideas, if we leave them with ourselves, then we are not a church. But we are a church. We are a deliberate community. And the ritual that we will do today, the ritual that is done in Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world, even in the Philippines, I've heard of a church doing this, usually at the end of summer and the start of the new church year. This ritual lifts up the sacred nature of being a religious community. Let me remind you, we are a religious community. With Unitarian Universalists, we sometimes have to be reminded of that. It is, I have shared before, it is not unusual for me to have someone who has been a member of this church for 20 years, has served on all of the committees, and they will look at me straight-faced and explain that they are spiritual but not religious. This is a religion. You, if you are a member, are a religious people, and this is a religious community. And see, what we do is we bring back those insights, the wisdom, the new experiences we have had, and we share them with each other. And in doing so, we create a deep well of wisdom that all of us have access to. And that is what this ritual that we are going to do symbolizes and makes sacred. So in a minute here, I'm going to invite you to come forward, those of you who remembered to bring some water from your journeys, whether it is from a river in Montana, as mine is, or an ocean, or a stream, but it may also be from your backyard faucet, or your kitchen sink, or some representative water that we have right here. Think about the journeys, literal and metaphoric, that you have taken this year, and the treasures that you have returned with. What is a treasure that you would like to add to the well of this congregation? It's a blessing, truly. So if you would, narrow that down, that insight, that into one word or one short phrase. And if you are comfortable doing so, please share it at the microphone as you add your water here. And then after you do that, much more pragmatic thing, I have some index cards here, some pens. If you would grab one, and if there is something that you would like to share with me, something that has happened in the life of this congregation and something that has happened in your own life that you, while I have been gone the last 5 months, something that you would like to share with me, if you could write it down, you can put it back in our joys and sorrows basket, and I'll be reading those this next week. And if you are at home, or any of you can do this too, you can also simply email me minister@liveoakuu.org, because over the next year I'll be sharing some of the things that happened to me, and I want to know what has happened with you. And now, please join me in this community ritual of our water communion. Renewal. We can start coming from this side on over.
When there's a war on, it's best to be clear-headed. Sparkling water.
My word is intercultural. Quick phrase. My son married into a Nigerian family, and my world has expanded, and I love my new family.
Patience. Nature.
New relationships.
Balance. New adventures. Gravel Lake, our golden pond.
Good trouble.
Come forward.
From our backyard rain gauge, survive till we thrive.
Happiness.
Perseverance. Just breathe deep.
Backyard sanctuary.
Wonder. Accessibility.
Adventure and travel. This water is from Samarkand, Uzbekistan.
Nature.
Miles and miles and miles and miles. Adventure. Nothing.
Resilience.
Healing.
Okay, you guys symbolize me, come on.
Toddler water play.
Playfulness and gratitude.
Change.
family transitions.
She stole mine.
Hope. Grit.
And now we bless these waters. As we are blessed by one another and the sharing of our spiritual journeys in this community, so we bless this water as a symbol of our gathered community. May we use it in the year to come as a symbol of our continuing commitment to one another and to the greater forces that sustain life. And we will, in a very literal way, be using it. This next week, I will be taking this, our combined water, and boiling it because we do believe in science. And then that water first will be used on Sunday, October the 2nd, when we have our baby and child dedication, the first one that we have had since before the pandemic began. It will be used at our Blue Christmas service when we pour it into tiny bottles for those who are going through a hard time and need a reminder that they are not alone, that they are part of a community. And we will probably use it in ways that we cannot yet foresee. I have used it, for instance, in new house blessings. So thank you for bringing your water, but also for bringing your spiritual journey here to be combined into this deep well that we draw from. Now, if you would join me in a spirit of meditation, remove any distractions you may have in your lap, kind of center yourself, close your eyes if you are comfortable doing so. These words are by my late colleague, the Reverend Mark Edmiston Lang. Help us keep near what it is like to be alive and to know that our daily rounds are in the company of celebrants and mourners alike. To those for whom life's waterfall creates a terrible roar, let us offer still waters. To those buoyant upon the gathering stream, let us offer praises and thanksgiving. That we may be open to the fresh surprise of love and the quickening of the urge to dare, let us take heed to our own well-being. Whatever sources of understanding, true support, and useful challenge there be for us, may we always remember they are nearby if we but choose to quench our own thirst and be thereby refreshed. For each other, let us be helpmates, friends, givers, and receivers alike of our gentle humor and caring. Amen, and blessed be. Would you please rise now, either in body or in spirit, for our closing hymn, number 100 in the gray hymnal, I've Got Peace Like a River.
I've got peace like
So I would like to invite you to this is our invitation to faith development, which today means being in community, and part of being in community means working together. And so there is going to be, I hear, an ice cream truck. If you would like free ice cream, who doesn't want free ice cream? And I understand there's a variety of, because we know all the dietary things, you use and all of our things. Cindy, can you stand up again? If you would like free ice cream or sorbet or whatever it is they are offering, talk to Cindy and she can give you the info on that. Oh, and yes, I'm hearing Cindy's thoughts as she's walking off. And if you would like some actual, lunch before you have your ice cream, we're going to be around for a while. Feel free to go get lunch and then come back. Unitarian Universalism is also called the prophethood of all believers. May you on your journey be open to insights and new ideas, new strategies. But remember, you are part of one body. Bring it back home and share it with all the rest of us. And may you go forward, knowing that life is fragile and a gift, that you are lovable and loved, and you are not alone.
Now, we extinguish this flame, but we recommit anew to carrying it into our week, the flame of justice and love. May we share with others the courage and strength we find here.